Happy Monday. I'm Candice Cooper. We're here to talk about pop culture, conspiracy theories, astrology, all of it. So I'm so happy to be here. Happy Monday. Welcome back. I hope you had a great weekend. I have like no makeup on, except I have a lovely little pimple right there. This is why we don't eat, I was gonna say chocolate, but it wasn't even chocolate. It was just like junk food. I was on like a little junk food bender last week. And of course, paying the price. But today is officially my day off. Sundays, Mondays are my days off. And there really are, like, as an adult, do we really ever have any days off, right? Yesterday was spent cooking, cleaning, food shopping, exercising, etc., etc. Today I hit the gym. I lifted for 45 minutes and then I did come home and I had a good cry. There's that like country, so I don't know if it's a country song and I don't even really know what song it actually is, but I hear it on TikTok all the time and it's so sad. The kids were playing it at the pool the other day. I was like, I know that you're only 22, but I'm not 22, and this song holds more like emotional weight for me than it does you. So they were like trying to talk to me at the pool this weekend, and I was like trying not to like cry. So I was like, you know what, Candice? That probably means that you just need to go home and have a good fucking cry. So what did I do today after my workout? I just had a good cry. And I mean, it's so good for the fucking skin to have a good cry. Like, I sobbed on my deck. Like, just thinking about life, just thinking about how when I was like 22 years old, living in Brooklyn, trying to like figure my life out, how stressed out I was. And, you know, I wish that I could give 22-year-old Candice the life that I have now, because this is exactly what I was pining for. And this is also like a subject that I want to talk about too. Like, we rush through so much of our lives to get to a certain place. And you can't really, like, people say stuff like this all the time. Like, you don't really stop to think like, wow, this is a fleeting moment in my life. And there's going to be a time 10 years from now, 5 years from now, 20 years from now, where I look back and I'm very nostalgic about it. So yeah, I was just like, I was on my deck today just having a good cry, sipping my protein shake after the gym, and just thinking about like my past animals, hey guys, congrats on Mexico. We're quacking like a duck for good luck. But it felt so good to have that cry today. It really did. But I really wish that I could go back and talk to my 22-year-old self and say like, chill. Don't worry, have fun, enjoy. I know you're not where you want to be, but these are the moments that make up the fabric of our life. How corny, how cheesy, right? But it's so true. Let's hit up the notes here a little bit. Let's see what we got going on. How are you guys doing? We have people going to Mexico. We have people going all over. There's just been so much going on in the last week. I wasn't on at all last week. And I'm like figuring stuff out, figuring out a schedule, you know, just like hammering stuff down. But so much has happened, right? Let's see. Yeah, just so much has happened. There's Trump got charged with 34 counts of, was it bribery? I don't want to get like too controversial here. So, you know, we'll leave Hunter Biden's laptop out of it. But where is Hunter Biden's laptop? So in my experience in life, the people, like, we'll just use high school, middle school, whatever, as like a microcosm to just kind of compare. It was always the girls in school who were like the most evil, that the teachers loved, that the principals loved, that, you know, their parents were like class mom and PTA and all of that stuff. But these little girls were just like pure evil. And I thought that as I got older, like life would, I don't know, change, and the evil kids would get exposed and the good kids would be valued. But as I've gotten older, whether you work in an office, a hair salon, a like WeWork place, whatever, it seems to me that, and politics, it's like the most evil people in politics get away with everything, and the people who are trying to, you know, who aren't perfect but are trying to make a change for the positive, they're going to be crucified. What the hell? You people are wild with these things. So it's exactly the same today. But one thing that we have to learn is Earth is like soul school. So even though these people are not being judged on this earthly plane, like we come back over and over and over again until our souls learn all of this bullshit, and then we could move fucking on. So if you're somebody and you're thinking like people are just not getting their comeuppance and they've tortured me or they've stolen from me or whatever, I hate to say this, but a lot of times that karma gets passed on to their children. And I say this as a woman who is realizing in the last like 2 weeks that most of my childhood had absolutely nothing to do with me and had so much to do with people hating my mother, who stole a man's or a woman's whole husband. Like my mom took a man who was married and had a daughter and had a restaurant and all of that stuff, and I grew up in a very, very small town, and her transgressions reflected on me because his family was so nasty to me, because they were like, how can we hurt this woman? Will hurt her child. And it's like a lizard brain when people get into that vengeful space. So much of my life was spent carrying a scarlet letter that I didn't even put on myself. No, we definitely don't get one chance. Earth is soul school for sure. So, and every time we fail, we have to come back and do it over. And I think it was Louise Hay who said that, like, people with disabilities, when they come to Earth with a lot of disabilities, they are saying in the spirit realm, I want to get rid of a lot of karma, so they come down to this Earth with like a severe issue, and they're able to kind of get rid of that karma. Am I a Christian? I went to Catholic school, so I grew up Roman Catholic. But I don't care. You're not going to change my mind. We reincarnate. Souls reincarnate until our souls learn the lesson. And energy can never be destroyed. It can just be transmuted. I was in contact with a few people over the past week who lost a large number of family members, and I said, you know, not to over philosophize your suffering, but I said I bet there's going to be a lot of births in the family soon, so we'll see. But yeah, it just doesn't come like the way we're taught to see life is not really how life actually is. It's a watered down version of our existence. And I say this all the time. If we really realized how smart, how powerful, how magical we are with all of our different capabilities and abilities, I don't really think that, you know, psychics are that crazy or weird. I think we all have psychic abilities. Oh, you're so sweet. Oh, Oh, thank you. Well, I'm glad you guys are here. This is stuff that I think about all the time, though. You know, just... And for me, too, it's so important for me to understand my soul's purpose in this life, in this lifetime. So that way I could ascend, move on, you know, have a different version of life next time around. Because I'm a Capricorn, so I have Aquarius and Pisces, and then I'm fucking out of here. Isn't it interesting? I feel like not a lot of people philosophize about this stuff. And I just want to sit and wax poetic for like hours and hours and hours about reincarnation and soul's purpose and, you know, energy transmuting and just all of that. And, you know, I went to Catholic school and it was so hard for me to like say like crystals are from God. And also when you go to any kind of like church or Roman Catholic church or anything like that, everybody has their rituals, their incense, their chanting, their all of that stuff. So I'm like, I don't know, like the crystals I like them, you know? I feel like my purpose is to serve others too. Absolutely. That's why I got into doing hair. And because for a long time I was an actor and an artist, and it just felt so vapid. And like I wasn't really truly fulfilling my soul's destiny by being somebody's like clothing puppet. I really felt like I had a message to share with people. You are an actress too. Well, use your abilities to work in really great, like, good for you. You've been on Broadway. And then I think about the actress who wrote, directed, and starred in OA. And that was like Dimensional. And of course they canceled it. But it was so great. I remember being introduced to that show, OA. And just thinking like, wow. Thinking about like the movements and all of that stuff. Life is so much more multi-dimensional than what is sold to us. This life is so much more than going shopping at Target. This life is so much more than drinking all weekend. You know, like I know I've been a victim of trying to numb my purpose to try to fit in. It never fucking works. It never works. So, my advice to everyone is embrace your soul's purpose. It's going to make you unpopular. Just remember all the famous people in history, 9 out of 10 times were vilified when they were alive and, you know, praised when they finally passed on. Hitler, everyone fucking loved him when he was alive. They were for him. They were like down with his cause. Now in retrospect, we're like, this man was a monster. So just be so careful who society praises and who society ostracizes, because 9 out of 10 times the person that society ostracizes is a good person. Like, go read the fucking Fountainhead. All right, and then you'll understand. I'm in America. Good old US of A. Can't you tell by my accent? Okay. So this is a perfect example of thinking outside of the box. Terrence Howard was on the Joe Rogan podcast. I think it was a few weeks ago. It was very interesting. He wore a hood. So a lot of people say to wear a hat, to wear a bun, to wear braids, to protect yourself from energy. And here Terrence Howard was. We all thought that he was literally just an actor. And he talked about a whole new kind of periodic table. Okay, I was not intelligent enough to grasp the things that he was saying, except that when he redid the periodic table, it was like elements and energy, and it wasn't just like the block periodic table. And that is what I'm saying. There is so much more to life and our existence than like Dunkin' Donuts coffee, Starbucks coffee, going to Target, you know, like consumption, porn, all of that stuff. So if you're smart enough, go listen to the Joe Rogan podcast with Terrence Howard, and he will just totally blow your mind. I listened and I was just like, I am not smart enough to know what this man is talking about, but I love him. And I love the fact that he's an actor and speaking out just like as a free thinker. Hey guys. Hey. It was beautiful. Loved it. Have you listened to / watched the episode of Joe Rogan with Terrence Howard? What did you learn? What did you take away from it? All of that stuff. I was encouraged that there are actual intelligent free thinkers in Hollywood, because when I lived there and I was an actor for so many years, I just felt like nobody had like an original thought. Oh my goodness, you're so sweet. Thank you. But I loved it. So more Joe Rogan, Terrence Howard, do it. I just want to say one thing about the P. Diddy case. The last 4.5 years, the things that people have been talking about. Also, I just want to say Trump got convicted on 34 counts, and yet Ghislaine Maxwell is sitting in jail trafficking children to no one. So just fucking think about that, okay? Anyway. The last 4.5 years, everyone has been talking about how creepy Hollywood is, how weird Hollywood is, their blood rituals, exactly, their blood rituals, their sacrifices, all of this stuff. And for 4.5 years, people have been like, QAnon, you're a QAnoner, you like, Hollywood is amazing. I'm like, these are literally the dredges of society who were given tons of money, power, like, protection, and like, you think that they're just having regular sex? No. You think that they're just having like regular lives? No. Regular parties? No. Well, I don't have a Snapchat, and one of my Instagrams is private, but I'm happy to have you here. What was released in the documents that Cassie, put into the court system was that they were eating her period blood. Okay? Diddy and his weird cronies were eating her period blood. The greatest thing the devil ever did was convince the world he didn't exist. Bro, he's alive and well. And it's not just one guy. It's a vibe. It's an energy. He infiltrates whoever he needs to, because you can't walk amongst the humans without a body. So these little evil souls will find a weak person, whether it be a drug addict or somebody who's codependent or whatever, and they will, that evil vibe will get its hooks in that person. I've seen it myself. I've known people who did a lot of drugs, and I was like, you have a bad vibe in you. No, I don't give out my phone numbers. Silly. So yeah, I don't know if you guys have like read about the documents, but for the past 4.5 years, we've all been called QAnoners and all of this stuff for questioning Hollywood, for saying that these people are doing weird rituals. They are. It's true. Get over it. There are good people in Hollywood, 100%. And there are evil people in Hollywood. But to everyone who was like, oh, you're crazy. No, I lived in Hollywood. I didn't even see fucking anything, and I saw enough. Crazy. So yeah, it's in the court documents. P. Diddy ate Cassie's period blood. Great. Good times. Is Louisville, Kentucky a good place to live? I don't know. You'll have to go visit. Now, I do want to talk about now we're going to get, okay, so we've covered the esoteric. We've covered conspiracy theory. Now I want to cover some fun pop culture stuff. Rachel Zoe Project is fucking on Peacock right now, all 5 seasons, and it instantly brought me back to a moment in time. It's why I like to watch the Roni, the original, like, first 4 seasons, 1 through 4. It brings me back to a time when I was living in the city. You know, I wasn't living in LA at the time, but I was in fashion. I was applying to FIT because I thought I wanted to leave acting and go into fashion merchandising or graphic design. I thought, like, that's the way that I wanted to go. I ended up going back to hair school, which was wonderful and perfect. But watching the Rachel Zoe Project just, like, brings me back to 2010 so hard. I'm so nostalgic for that time period. I really honestly think like 2012 to now, it's just not the same. There's not that same, like, optimism for the future, expansion. You know, you have to understand, like, 2010, that was before Instagram was even around. And when Instagram came around, it was like, it opened up a whole new world for people to be successful in the digital creator space. Then, you know, because it was like MySpace, Facebook, but there wasn't any way to, like, monetize MySpace or Facebook. Then Instagram came around. And, you know, now we have TikTok. And I don't know, it just seems like so polished that there's no, like, grittiness. And I say this all the time. When we switched over to, like, 4 Blu-ray, Stingray, what was it? Blu-ray? Is that what it was? When everything was shot in HD? It was like 2009, 10, 11, 12, things started to be shot in HD. And I say it all the time, like, the whole romantic part of watching a film or looking at pictures was that it was a little bit grainy. It was a little bit soft. And then when they started to shoot everything in HD, it became, like, so harsh and sharp and polished and ugh. You know, I don't like it. I don't like it. So I think that that's why I gravitate towards these older shows, and it's just, life was different then. It was softer. It was optimistic. It was mystical. There was room for growth and creativity and originality. Whereas right now, I'm just looking at everything and, you know, homes are just like no longer homes, you know? Like, everything is perfect. Where's the personality? Where's the humanity? That's what I want to, like, step back into, the originality. Oh my God, you wish I was your girlfriend? You're adorable. So I love watching it. I don't know if you guys are watching the Rachel Zoe Project over again, or maybe for the first time. Maybe you didn't watch it the first time. I did. And I would just watch it over and over and over and over and over again. I loved it. I couldn't get enough of it. And it was just like, another thing about success is when, like, Rachel is talking about how busy she is and all of that stuff. It's not busy doing bullshit like stuffing envelopes or something like that. She's sourcing beautiful dresses. Like, I feel that way about hair. Like I could be at my hair studio for 10 hours a day and it doesn't feel like work to me because I am creating, I am filming, I am editing, I am, like using all of my talents and skills, and it doesn't feel like work to me. Whereas any other time I tried to hold a regular job, I only ever lasted 3 months, if that. Sometimes I just walked out on that day. So, what is this live about? Oh my gosh, what is this live about? We're talking about pop culture. We're talking about conspiracy theories. We're talking about P. Diddy eating Cassie's blood, period blood. We're talking about all of that stuff. Thank you. I gotta do my nails. But it's just, it's just like, it's a lot. It's a lot. And nowadays people think work is drug dealing. I mean, I've known plenty of drug dealers in my day too. Oh, thank you. I hope you have a good day too. But it's so easy. Like when you don't be hard on yourself if you're a job hopper. It probably just means that you have a creative talent. Maybe you didn't grow up in a very encouraging household, so you don't know how to take that talent and monetize it into a career. Rachel had Roger. They graduated college. They had been together forever and ever and ever. Rachel had Roger, who believed in her, and they both come from, good backgrounds with support and love and family. So of course Rachel was able to go from college to being a fashion stylist and have that buffer of having her husband's money and whatever, stability, family money, whatever, to build her empire. So if you are, struggling to keep a job, or it's just you haven't found your talent yet. And if people judged me by who I was in my 20s, early 30s, now I'm in my, I was going to say late 30s, but I'm not. I'm in my 40s now. And I can work tirelessly. But if you looked at me in my 20s, I couldn't hold a job for longer than a few months. It was just so hard for me. I hated it. Don't feel bad if you're that person. You just haven't found your passion yet. Oh yeah. Well, okay, Jaden, you're saying that back in the day you were slinging the marijuana or whatever you were doing. Well, now you could literally move to a state that legalized marijuana and open a marijuana shop. Like, that's what I'm saying. You're good at sales then. That means that you're good at sales. Don't necessarily get into medical sales, maybe get into marijuana sales. Maybe you could be a representative for your favorite weed brand. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yes, it's true. But that's what I'm saying. I think like a lot of kids that grow up, rough, like no guidance, no any of that stuff. You just don't know how to take your talents and monetize them long term. And for me, it really was when I was quitting acting at 27 and going back to hair school. I was like, well, first I applied to FIT twice. And it takes like 6 months. You can only apply every 6 months. So I got that first rejection letter. I wrote another essay, sent it in, got rejected again. So that was a year of my life spent applying to a college that didn't accept me. But I was thinking to myself, how do I make a living off of painting, drawing, editing pictures? Like, I knew that I wanted to like create something. And my ex-husband was like, go back to hair school. I had gone to hair school when I was 18. It was the same hair school my grandparents went to, my uncle went to, my great aunt and uncle went to, everyone. And I was just like, this is so ghetto. I don't want to fucking go here. I only lasted like 300 hours there. I ended up going to Dover Business College on Route 4 in Paramus, graduated from there with honors, went to 1 day of working at an office. I cried in my car and I quit. After all that time and money spent going to Dover Business College, I worked 1 day. They put me in an office with no window and a stack of paper like this, and they said, here, file this. And I went in my car and I cried and I quit. And to everybody else, I looked like a failure. I was 19. 18? I was like 18 years old. And then I job hopped for 10 years after that. Then I went to hair school when I was 27, and I stayed at each salon like a year and a half. And then the last salon that I worked at before the pandemic, I was there for 3 years on the nose. The day of my 3-year anniversary there, March 17th, was the day that we closed for COVID and didn't open back up for like 3 months. And then in that 3-month time span, I decided that I was going to move across the country. I was going to open my own hair studio. And that's what I've been doing the past 4 years. I moved to a completely different state across the country, opened my hair studio with not one single client, and I'm still open. I'm hanging on for dear life, but I've consistently grown my business every single year since the moment I opened it. But if you would have looked at me and judged me off of who I was as a 20-something-year-old, job hopper, inconsistent, but it was like I was tortured inside because I knew that I was never going to be able to hold a regular job, and I knew I had all of this creativity, but I don't come from a trust fund, so I can't just go to SVA and be like a fine art student for 5 years and just fucking paint and have my dad pay my rent. That wasn't the life that I had. So I had to, be creative. And it was really, really, really hard. It was really hard for me to be looked down upon, to be like, knew she wouldn't amount to anything. Look at her, loser. Like, it was really hard for me. But I'm telling you right now, I made a TikTok about this yesterday. I have kept such good notes on how people have treated me the last 20 years, how they've treated me when I'm down on my luck, or I don't have a brand new car, or I don't have a big house yet. I will not be down like this forever. I will not be building a company forever. At some point, it's going to prosper, and so am I. And all of these people the last 20 years, how they've treated me, how they've come at me, how they dragged my name, how they made me the villain. That's right. I've taken note. So this is the again, back to soul school. All of those people who treated me horribly and shit on my name the last 20 years, they're going to learn the hard way when I come back stronger than fucking ever. And they're going to be like, oh, can we come to your pool? Oh, can you lend us money? Oh, we love your car. Oh, your business is so beautiful. Oh, can we come get a haircut? No, bitch, no. Go somewhere the fuck else. Okay, my pool is closed. So, to you, it's closed to you. Open to me, closed to you. So that's another whole huge lesson on Soul School. Be very, very careful who you treat like shit when they're down. If they're a fighter and they're fighting and they're fighting and they're fighting, and you're shitting on their name and you're vilifying them and you're dragging their name, and they come back stronger than ever, just fucking run. Thank you. I don't have kids now. I have fur babies. Yeah, it's just, life is really interesting. And I have to say that the last 20 years of my life have been really, really hard and isolatory, because I'm just building this empire of mine, and I am going to be so incredibly successful, and I'm so excited about it. I can't wait. But I'm so happy that people have treated me so poorly, whether they're in my family or my hometown or friends or whatever. I've taken note. No, I have not. I've taken note, and their soul's gonna learn the hard way. It's gonna suck. It's like the first shall be last and the last shall be first. So everyone who's shit on people, like if you're on your fucking grind and you're making shit happen for yourself and people are shitting on you, good. Lotuses grow through the shit. Keep fucking shitting on me. Keep fertilizing me, because guess what, bitches? Dipset, dipset. I'm ageless. I'm ageless. There's so many other things that I want to talk about, honestly. But we're already at 36 minutes. I don't want to go too long. That's a very personal question, Jaden. You should not ever. That's very intrusive and very, very rude. So don't, like, learn your place, buddy. We don't know who you are. So, like, asking people's medical history, it's like, do you have both of your breasts? Like, that's asking, like, that, like, that's so intrusive. Like, what if somebody had breast cancer? Like, you don't ask them that. That is so fucking rude and gross. Let's see. We're going to cover these topics on the next episode. Yes. We're going to cover these topics on the next episode, because we're probably going to hit like 40 minutes here. And I feel like we've covered a lot. It's been informative. Tomorrow I will be on another podcast, and oh, she's too young to be watching my videos. I literally put in the description that these are not made for children, but happy birthday to your daughter. I hope she has a great day. On a Monday. I was also born on a Monday. Happy birthday, Rose. Beautiful name. Okay. Yes. I don't want to go too long about all of this. So I feel like we've covered a lot. I'm going to be on a podcast tomorrow. We're going to be talking about hair, because you all know I am a hairstylist. I know my hair looks in a little bun right now. But we're going to talk about hair, all of that stuff, fun stuff. It's going to be great. The questions are great. It's going to be super informative. But yes, like, I don't think anyone below 18 should be like watching these videos, because I just talked about Diddy and Cassie and all of that stuff, and like, too young. Even though I say that, but I was listening to Howard Stern when I was like 9 years old in the morning. So, you know, and watching MTV at 5 years old. So I don't want to say whatever, but yes, there is like a lot of stuff that we talk about here that is adult. But I'll let you know where the podcast is going to be that I'm on tomorrow. And it's going to be on Spotify. It's going to be on YouTube. It's going to be all over. I'll make a video. I'll share the link. If you're interested in, hair topics, growing your hair, you know that I make the Lunar Hair Cutting Guide every month. And you wouldn't believe it, but my hair, well, I cut my hair to here in October, and now it's like down to here. October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June. So 8 months. All right, that's like normal. Like 5 inches, 4.5 inches over 8 months. It's totally normal. But yes, I am on TikTok, and every other video is like sad dog stuff. Like the dog that sent you your current dog, and it's like your old dog running through the, like, that's a big reason why I cried today. like thinking about my past animals and how much I love them all, and then my animals now, and how I'm just trying to like savor every single moment with them because I love them so much. And my dog is 14, and I feel like Jake died at 2 months shy of 21, my Jack Russell. And the only thing I would have done differently is, well, I wouldn't have given him to my grandmother at 17, but that was like a weird circumstance. I moved and she had a yard, but I would have put him to sleep before, like at 20, I would have put him to sleep. And I mean, Iggy's 14, but he doesn't seem old. I give him olive oil and I give him flaxseed, and I make sure to play soccer with him every day, and brushing, and he's got like special beautiful herbal eye drops to keep his eyes clear, and herbal shampoos, and just just he's got the absolute best life ever. But Jack Russells can live till 23. Mine died at 20 years old in 10 months. But the only thing I would have done different with Jake is I would have put him to sleep when I was visiting that August. But I like literally just couldn't do it because I got Jake when I was 18 and he died when I was 39. That's insane. I got Iggy when I was 26 and now I'm 40. Pit bulls usually live till probably like 14, probably between like 12 and 14 years old. I did rescue a pit bull porter from the Adirondacks. He was like a pit bull hound dog mix, and he lived till he was like 17, 18, I think. He lived like a really long time. So, with proper care and all of that stuff, our animals really could live a long time. And Iggy is like so sprightly and spry and in such great health, and I love him so much, and I just like cover him in hugs and kisses, and oh, your dog is 2. Oh, baby. I love that. And it's just like I'm always seeing these sad animal videos on TikTok and the French Bob videos. So we're all fighting the desire to cut our hair off. We're all fighting the desire to save every single animal in the world. But my greatest advice to anyone is, foster if you can. Just know that we are their whole lives, and they're just one part of our life. Doesn't that make you want to cry? Blue nose pit bulls are gorgeous. Just gorgeous. Absolutely stunning. I would say, make sure that their hips are good. They're getting like glucosamine, or I would say like focus on like their hips and their ligaments and all of that stuff. Bigger dogs, because their hips go and everything like that. My dog, I'm massaging him, and but he's my whole life. And I had family, I grew up in a family where you would go to school in the morning and come home and your dog would be gone, or your cat would be gone. And then you would find out, I found out when I was 15 that my mom had my dog and my cat dropped off in the woods to die. So my dog is living his best life. But yeah, I come from a family where they would just take your animals while you were at school and drop them off in the woods to die. So I think that I've saved so many animals in my life. I listed all of my animals the other day, and I've rescued so many animals. I think partly to make up for the animals that were taken from me when I was little and dropped off in the woods to die. My cat Cleopatra and my dog Shayna. Yeah, so people wonder why I don't talk to anyone in my family. Just not good peoples. Very conditional with their love, and just very, very, very bad pet owners. All of them. Every single one of them. So Anyway, you guys, I love you. Thank you for tuning to Daily Dish. Again, my name is Candice Cooper. Leave us any comments or questions down below. I'll try to answer them in the next video. I am going to do I'm going to be guest speaking on a podcast tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. I love you all. Good night. Mwah. Hasta luego. I will see you all on the next Daily Dish. Okay, have a great night, everyone. Love you. Bye.